All right, tonight on the Lawyer Henderson podcast show, well, let's just see. Florida's Governor Ron DeSantis is trying to rewrite Black history by trying to ban and inject African American studies. Let's talk about it today. It's on the Lawyer Henderson podcast show. He is really earning the hate. Florida DeSantis is trying to rewrite African American history in Florida. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Lawyer Henderson. Haven't went on live with you in a while. For those of you basically who's been keeping up with our show, we've been doing video essays on streaming, our streaming version. But ScrewTube have had me on a shallow ban. They had me on one. I think I went for about I think it was 3 months and then another suspension. I was like, damn, I have not been suspended that long since high school. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. I'm Lawyer Henderson. I'm your gracious host, and welcome to the Lawyer Henderson podcast show. Good evening, and you are joining us live. Thank you for joining us. Okay, thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. This is coming from NPR News. I'll give them credit. And we're going to go over this discussion here about Florida's Governor Ron DeSantis. It says here in the article that Florida Department of Education, under the leadership of Republican Governor Ron DeSantis, rejected an advanced placement course on African American studies. The decision is leading to a wave of backlash across the country, from other state lawmakers to labor unions and even a potential lawsuit. One governor should not have the power to dictate the facts of U.S. history, Illinois Governor Jay Pritzker, a Democrat, said in a letter to the College Board, which develops the AP courses that help high school students across the country earn college credits. On Wednesday, civil rights lawyer Ben Crump announced that 3 Florida high school students are prepared to challenge the state's decision in court. Becky Pringle, president of the National Educational Association, the nation's largest labor union, was also present when Crump made the announcement. When we censor classes and whitewash lesson plans, we harm our students and do them a deep disservice, Pringle tweeted. I support the educators at Florida State Capitol today to demand complete and honest education for all Florida students, end quote. Pringle, also with more than 28,000 others on Thursday afternoon, signed a petition demanding that Florida State Board of Education approve the courses. It's clear that Florida Governor DeSantis has been using Black students as a political pawn in his quest to build power and conservative outrage, and the Florida State Board of Education, SBE, has long enabled him, the petition reads. The president of another labor union, the American Federation of Teachers, also publicly denounced the Florida decision. AP courses a pathway to help build critical thinking skills to learn new information and apply to its life. The union president, Randy Ringardner Garten, tweeted, "How can Governor DeSantis erase all Black history?" It says Pricer, the Illinois governor, penned a letter to College Sports CEO David Coleman asking the organization, quote, preserve the fundamental rights to education that does not follow the political grandstanding the whims of Republicans in Florida, end quote. End quote again, I urge you to maintain your reputation in an academic institution dedicated to the advance of students and refuse to bow to political pressure that would ask you to rewrite our nation's true, if sometimes unpleasant history. Pricer added, the NAACP also denounced Florida's decision as white-splaining. The move to censor topics like intersectionality, the movement for Black lives, and reparations is nothing more than an assault on African American history and worldviews, effectively white-splaining topics that are integral to the development of American history, culture, and identity. Ivory Tolson, Director of Education, Innovation, and Research for the Civil Rights Group, wrote in an op-ed. Florida State Senator Shervin Jones also shared his disapproval by tweeting that Florida is the place where you don't say Black, a reference to controversial educational bills that prohibits discussion of sexual orientation through the third grade. New York Representative Richie Torres, a Democrat, echoes the same sentiment on Twitter, saying Florida has gone from don't say gay to don't say Black, end quote. All right, here we go. Meanwhile, in schools where the pilot program is already taking place, both students and teachers are thankful for the course. We talked about arts. Alex Jenke, who teaches at a predominantly Black high school in Milwaukee that offers the program, told NPR. We talked about culture trends. We talked about the diaspora outside the United States as well, which might not be included in some of the other classes that I've taught before, end quote. Florida rejected the course because of officials, including DeSantis, said contribute to a political agenda. Education is about the pursuit of truth, but the imposition of ideology or the advancement of a political agenda, DeSantis tweeted on Monday. After the state rejected the course, the College Board announced on Tuesday that it would be releasing a newly revised version of the course on February 1st, the first day of Black History Month. Go figure. In this announcement, the organization said it's using the contributions of experts, teachers, and students in its revision. Okay, so that's what that is about. Florida Governor DeSantis done lost his damn mind, knowing that he is out here trying to rewrite history. On a side note, I just do not. I hate when people, when they do these press conferences that affects Black people, as we in the Black media have always pointed out. Why do y'all have to try to include LGBT, gay, all of this stuff, trans? We don't want, as real Black people in this era, we don't want none of that stuff associated with us. None of that. We want to be called Black, and that's it. Black. Okay? We don't need you to say Black and trans, Black and gay, Black and LGBT. We don't want none of that stuff associated. We keep telling these people this. We don't want that. We want to only be labeled Black, okay? We don't want no Black in nothing, okay? It's Black and trans. That stuff does not work for us, okay? Especially us on the grassroots level. We're sick and tired of hearing that in the white media. That's the reason why we are not invested in the white media. That's the reason why we don't buy no more newspapers of the white media. The white media knew that all of the people who were going to get their news was going to come to the internet. And so the white media decided they're going to bring their little flaky news to where the people who wants to really listen and understand real media and not this biased media that the white media is on. So we basically looked at that. We saw that happening. But back to Governor Ron DeSantis. Ron DeSantis has lost his damn mind. This man right here, and this is the reason why it's good to have these open white supremacists in office, because they get to show their true colors. Doesn't matter if they're Democrat, Republican, they're all in the same. As we said in the on the black grassroots, they're both the same. It's no different. One just say, well, we need to offer these niggers something, and what it be, or what is most likely will be when it comes specifically from the Democrats is, well, we're going to offer you niggers, look at this Dr. King monument. Hey, man, you black folks, y'all deserve it. You see what I'm saying? And that plays into, trying to say, well, see, we did something for black people. No. We basically are not falling no more for the trick bag when it comes to talking about you're basically giving us some type of tangible benefit based upon just giving us symbolic symbols. I think that you've done that enough to the civil rights generation, but this new black man and black woman, is not falling for it. But Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, you done lost your damn mind. Talking about that this is a political situation. No, Ron DeSantis, you know that this is not political. You know that you're trying to rewrite history. You're trying to basically, I agree that he's saying take the LGBT stuff out and all that stuff. Yeah, that's not history. I agree with that part. But when you're talking about taking out slavery and other types of stuff, then yes, take that crap out. But we don't want this AP course, though, rather, to be a AP course where black students are also learning about transsexuals, LGBT, and all that stuff. We don't want that in this course. But if that's what he's saying, I agree with that. Okay, but to have a pure African-American studies course, you have to talk about the history of slavery. You have to talk about Jim Crow, Reconstruction. You got to talk about civil rights to the most part. You got to also talk about certain things. But if he is talking about removing LGBT and all that stuff, there's no LGBT history that relates to black people. Okay. Because all that stuff, and the feminists and all that stuff, that was basically imposed upon the black community. And then they did like what other groups do, and that is latch all that stuff onto our history. So if he's against that, yeah, I'm against that political position as well. Okay, if that's what he's talking about. But if he's talking about just clear black history regarding civil rights movement or Reconstruction, and like I said, slavery and stuff like that, yes, he's wrong. He's lost his damn mind, because that's a part of American history. Black people are a part of American history. And as I was coming on, I did hear one lady who got this blonde hair. She mentioned LGBTQ. This is what real black people are sick and tired of. We're sick and tired of these black folks with their own agenda. Okay, bringing this foolishness into black people. We don't want to be associated with none of that stuff. We just don't. Okay, because it's not about your sexuality. We don't care who you're sleeping around with. What we're focused on is having a pure black course that focus on African American history, culture, and focus on what black people's contributions was. But when you have this stuff here regarding talking about, like I said, I heard that black female speaker with the blonde hair, she just had to mention LGBT. No, we don't want that stuff a part of black history, black culture, anything. So if that's what Ron DeSantis is trying to take out, I mean, he has my ears, but all the other stuff, when you talk there about, our culture, yeah, that should be taught to our kids. But what political agenda is really what they're saying here? If we could basically talk about adding things to Black history, like what would that be? What would adding things to Black history be? Because see, we have a lot of people, we even have Democrats who's trying to rewrite Black history. Okay. And so what we have to recognize is that we want our culture to be pure. We have a lot of people with agendas that wants to really, really, really latch on to our struggle. And so they're upset with us now because we've been calling this out. But see, they've been using other Black folks to jump onto the agenda, especially these civil rights people. And all due respect to Ben Crump, that's something that he allows, okay? I have no problem with them talking about their stuff. But the fact of you just trying to include this in a press release where you're talking about Black issues and then you're putting everybody else's agenda onto the issue. See, that's what we're having a problem with in the Black community. That's what we're upset about. And we're going to continue to call this out because we don't want, we're not here to promote sexuality, as far as what the agenda should be in a classroom or what the agenda should be in the African-American community. Nobody is talking about wanting all of this latching up on us, okay, as far as whatever their little scandals are, their goals to basically say, hey, well, we want to add LGBT into certain type of curriculum in this Black AP course. No. We need Black parents to object to that, okay? And so at this point, even though Black parents should stop being lazy and also educate their own kids on Black history, we also argue in a sense with this issue here that this man is doing is basically he's mentioned other things that I agree with, okay? And I just made that clear. But when you talk about a lot of times the white supremacists, what they'll do is they'll say things vague. But all in all, it's an agenda for them. But then it's also an agenda on Black people who do not put Black issues first, but they put LGBT, sexuality, trans, and all that stuff first. And then they come in like other groups do, like Asians and Koreans and Latinos and all of them latching and this illegal immigrants. They'll come on latching on to Black people's struggle. See, and that's what we're talking about in this new era of Black activists, you see. And thank God for the Black grassroots because they've been on it. They've been basically criticizing these bootlicking Negroes out here, and they've been really on it. They've been dealing with the feminist people. They've been dealing with the Black LGBT and Black gay folks. They have been really trying to really say enough is enough. Stop lashing on to Black people's struggle. That's all. And once we stop this, see, we don't show up to anybody else's thing. If you have let's say, for instance, if Latinos have their own little thing that they got going on, you don't see no Black folks there, okay? And we basically just stay out of other people's cultures. If you're dating somebody, in that culture, obviously you'll probably be there. But 9 times out of 10, we do stay out of folks, cultural music or whatever they do, you see. But everybody wants to tag along with us in our struggle. They want to bring this agenda talking about we got to fight for trans rights and we got to do this and stuff like that. And the whole thing about this issue is that we as Black folks are sick and tired of this. I was walking out of a store the other day in College Park, and they had these trans out here. And I'm like, listen, y'all need to get the hell out of here. You see what I'm saying? They're in competition of trying to sleep with heterosexual men. And black men are telling you, listen, we're not into that stuff. We're heterosexual males. We don't want you all basically trying to come up on us or lying to us, talking about y'all women. And this is why a lot of these transsexuals have been getting murdered, because they've been lying to heterosexual men. And this is what we're trying to really, you know, we're really getting the pushback. We're challenging everybody. You see what I'm saying? This new black man, we're not going for nothing no more. Okay. See, the civil rights generation, all these bought and paid for bootleg Negroes, they're old. They're fit to, unfortunately, they're fit to die out. Okay. So you got a new black man coming along. This new black man, you know what I'm saying, he is very different. And then the one that is like 10 and 11 years old, they're going to be really, really different. You see what I'm saying? So all these people have backed us up in a corner, right? And so now, since when you backed us up in a corner, black men are starting to have a backbone now. Like, this is like, wow, I have not seen. I didn't think black man was going to get this backbone, And so, when you put, it's like a cat. I was listening to a Farrakhan. I went to listen to him in 2005 at Clark, Atlanta, and he was talking about it. He has some cats and dogs on the farm, and that the dog, I think, would chase the cat. And then when the cat is backed up on the corner, backed up against the wall, he say that the cat then is not, is having to fight back. He has to, hunch up, and then his body hunch up, and then he got to get his paws and get ready to fight. See, now that's what the black man is now doing. Finally, the black man is getting some backbone here. No. We're going to be calling out these white supremacists. We're going to also bring back the purity of the black community. We don't want this sexual education, talking about LGBT and all that stuff up on our kids. And I was talking to a person, and they had, I was at the store, and this light-skinned woman, she had a daughter. Now, I clearly can see that this is a female, right? And I was like, excuse me, young lady, let me I need to purchase this. She was like, you have to say this or they. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? And what she was trying to say is, no, we have a third gender. Let me tell you something. There's no third gender nowhere. Okay, either you have a penis or you have a vagina. There's no third gender nowhere. Okay, I'm like, excuse me, I got to say there or this or they or she or he. I'm like, oh my God. So she really is trying to say that her daughter is not a female. You see, this is what they're bringing into our culture. This is what they're trying to do to our children. They're trying to destroy our kids, you see. So the thing about that, if Ron DeSantis, if he was fighting that struggle, I will be on his side. But he has to include African-American history on it. I'm like, no. See, that's where we have a problem. That's where we have a downfall. That's where we push the brakes on that stuff, you know what I'm saying? And so now we always got Ben Crump out there, and a lot of things that Ben Crump say, I agree, but when he started trying to build these coalitions with everybody and trying to put all of their agendas up on ours, see, that's what I have to, draw the line with Ben Crump. He'd be like out there, be like, Ben, okay, yeah, you said something good. But he'd say, oh, minority students, and we got, no, Ben, no, Ben Crump, no. Stop tagging all these other people up on black people. We're sick and tired of that. You understand? It's they talk about, oh, he's the new Johnny Cochran. Like, no, he's not. He's not the new Johnny anything. Johnny Cochran was strictly for Black people. Have you ever noticed that every time these real warriors die, they always get somebody weakened after that? You got Johnny Cochran had died. He was strictly about getting Black men off or Black people off. He was strictly about that. He was not talking anything about this minority coalition. So when he passed, they're gonna try to say that Ben Crump is the new Johnny Cochran. First of all, Johnny Cochran was a defense attorney, and Ben Crump is a civil rights attorney, in which a civil rights attorney is supposed to basically defend civil rights. A defense attorney is getting you off of a crime that you have been accused of. Very, very different, okay? But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, like, share, and subscribe, and leave your comments. We'll be right back on the Lawyers and Podcast Show. We're going to go ahead and come back on and talk about something else today. We're going to have a lot of live here. ScrewTube has finally, they basically finally, took me off suspension, like I told you earlier. ScrewTube has suspended me 2 times. They said, nigga, you are getting on our nerves. So they said, in order for you to basically, go live again, I tried to do it on a laptop. They said, nigga, no, you're suspending you because you ain't got no camera on you here. You got to update your Chrome. Then they said, okay, let me go to my camera. They said, nigga, you can't do that either. They said, nigga, you got to get some type of download this Chrome and that Chrome, and then once you download that, nigga, you got to also set up this. So they have not only suspended me, they have also double put me in a shadow ban, and they said, nigga, after you come off our suspension, you're going to have to update your latest version. I said, damn, I have not been suspended that much since high school. And they said, ScrewTube has been screwing me over, boy. They said, nigga, we're sick and tired of you talking that Black stuff. You see what I'm saying? So now, if I was like, wow, I said, okay, so I finally got everything, up to date, ScrewTube. Hopefully you won't suspend me no more so I can get everything up so that way. And then as I was coming, it's like, you need some moderators too. So they could basically help you. I said, okay, let me get some moderators coming on, ScrewTube. Fine. If you want to have moderators or whatever, ScrewTube, fine. Now let's talk about these Black police officers out here. And here's the thing about these Black cops who done slept with this white woman. Oh my God, I got to talk about that story. What is that story about these Black cops who got fired for sleeping with that white woman? Now, you know that I was going to speak out against that. Oh, here we go. Oh, married police officer. You see how they word this here? Married police officer. Fired after having sex with 6 different cops. I said she was sleeping with 6 different cops. Now here she go right here. That woman, can y'all see her? No, y'all can't. There she go. Now she was sleeping with 6 different cops. Now this woman was sleeping with 6 different cops. In the voice of Dr. Umar Johnson, we have a snow bunny crisis, family. We have a snow bunny crisis. Thumbs up, brothers and sisters. We have a snow bunny crisis. Dr. Umar Johnson got on her. We got a snow bunny crisis. These black men, brothers and sisters, slept with this woman. We got a snow bunny crisis, brothers and sisters. We got a snow bunny crisis. No, but you look at the article, it says, married police officer fired after having sex with 6 different officers. Okay, let's talk about it. Thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. A small U.S. police station has been rocked by allegations of wild sexual misconduct after a married female officer allegedly had steamy romps with 6 male officers, including an illicit on-duty liaisons, according to the report. Now, this woman was in there and she was hanging out with all the male officers. She even had sex with the canine unit. Like, God darn, this woman right here. Tennessee officer Megan Hall and her colleagues allegedly engaged in wild sex escapades, I should say, that included sending dirty pictures, taking her top off at a Girls Gone Wild hot tub party, and even having oral sex with 2 officers at a police station, WTVF-TV reported. The steamy shenanigans in which Hall allegedly bragged about the size of one partner's genitals and claimed to be in an open marriage not only led Hall to be sacked by lead to the firing of Sergeant Lewis Powell, Officer Juan Logo, Sergeant Ty McGowan, and Detective Seneca Shields, according to the December internal investigation. Now, all of these officers had sex with this woman. We have a snow crisis, brother, a snow bunny crisis, brothers and sisters. We have a snow bunny crisis. Now, they got her on this picture. Now, she's eating some chickens. They got her on this picture eating chicken, you see. And it was like, okay, this white woman like fried food. And I have no problem with that. But I was like, man, okay, she's in an open relationship. Her husband doesn't mind. And these black officers was acting like this white woman was this prize. I'm like, what's going on? We have a snow bunny crisis, brothers and sisters. We have a snow bunny crisis. Two other officers who allegedly had once were hauled. Patrick McGilly-Oko, now she slept with some white men too. Patrick Malaoka and Larry Holiday kept their jobs, but rounded up suspended, according to reports. Now, these are white men who kept their jobs, and so did she. The tries took place at hotels and parties, at the officers' houses, and on a boat. Hall was also accused of performing oral sex on Powell and Shields while on duty at the police station and police gym, according to December 28 internal report. Officials began to look into the personal lives of the officers when Laverne Mayor Jason Cole received a tip that Hall was sleeping with several fellow cops and had a threesome with Malacolico and his wife, among other claims, the New York Post reported. Okay, let me see if I read that again. Hall was sleeping with several fellow cops and had a threesome with Malacolico and his wife, among other claims, the New York Post reported. So the officer's wife, it says, suggested, was in on this promiscuous sexual rendezvous with all of these cops, you see. Man. And one of the officers, which is a black K-9 unit officer, and other 2 black cops, I understand, was fired. And the white officers kept their job. Now, here's one of these Negroes right here. He have a snow bunny crisis, brothers and sisters. We have a snow bunny crisis. When asked about the tip, Malaolaka admitted to having sex with Hall on numerous occasions, the report said. He told investigators that Hall had told him about Powell's big black dong, and claimed she had performed a sex act on him while the pair was on the clock, the report said. Malaolaka also said that he had seen Hall and Holiday kiss while watching football at a party, and said Hall had kissed his own wife, Amy, after learning that they had an open marriage, according to the document. The officer said Hall's husband said the kiss saw the kiss and told officials he really wasn't on board with his wife having a threesome with the Malacolic. I don't know how to say this woman's name. It's all, y'all got some janky names. White folks got some janky names here. Malaolikaz. But she continued having relationship with him, investigators said. When questioned, Powell later denied that he had a sexual encounter with Hall, but said everybody knows she had multiple partners, as he named Holiday and McGowan to the investigators. After being caught lying about being at the gym with Hall, Powell admitted to the Trice during a follow-up interview, according to reports. Now, let me just stop right there. The gym is a way that you all meet these chicks and stuff like that. A lot of them women go there just to show out and stretch out with men, in front of men, and then they're watching in some mirror to see if you're watching them. And these police officers, when y'all are a part of their basically their little, I guess Black to Blue type organization, or y'all little colleagues, or y'all little group, the ones who basically with this, protect or behind the badge or protect the boys in blue and all that old stuff. When you engage in a sexual escapade with a white female on the job, you know that this is going to be a story that the white media is going to end up telling about. Why? Because it helps to also now, any story they can find on Black officers, they're going to do it because now it helps the scapegoat of so many blames and so many charges against the white male cops. And so this, and then that other story that I'm going to do later on with Tyree, what's his name? Nichols, Black cops in that situation. The white media is eating up these stories because it's Black people, and specifically it's Black men. Okay, the white media enjoy this type of stuff that you Black men are out here doing, and then when you're wearing the white man's badge and gun, and he gets a story like this, this is something that he loves. But anyway, I digress. The article goes on to say that after initially denying having sexual relationship with Powell and Olaco, Hall later admitted to the affairs, also admitted to having sex with Lugo at a motel after they met at a go-kart century, a charge that Lugo initially denied before caving under a second investigation. Under questioning, Shields said, "I have never had sex with Megan Hall," until admitting she had performed oral sex on him while on duty when pressed, the inquest found. Well, we already know damn how Megan passed the damn police exam. Megan passed by possibly sleeping with the person who was doing the damn interview. It goes on to say that Malaoko also noted he had become concerned about Hall's mental health and heavy drinking and driving. The officer said Hall had once pulled the trigger on an empty gun pointed at her temple so she could hear what it sounded like, and said she was suffering from mental illness. You see, the white woman get to basically talk about the mental illness. That works on this, the work on them. The white female, crying, her tears are being weaponized. That worked a lot for them. Now, here's one of the officers, the white cop. I don't know if that was her husband now, but the white cop, but he had sex with her. I don't know if that's her husband or he was one of the participants, but he was also involved in the rendezvous. I think this is probably the only female cop at that station that possibly they can say, yeah, she's worth sleeping with. All the other ones is all old and decrepit, look like old nurses from the, some nursing home. So she's probably the only white girl that we can do, right? It goes on to write, though, that in often mentioned event, In the report was a Memorial Day party on a boathouse owned by another member of the department, which several officers had brought their children to. At one point during the party, an intoxicated Hall was reportedly being force-fed vodka by Mala Olaka in the hot tub. Now, Mala Olaka, he's just doing too much, at which time her top came off. And other cops stopped the former officer from drinking and helped her cover up to protect her, according to Durham account. Now, this woman is a very freaky woman. She came into that department. A lot of police officers do this. They'll go to these strip shows, and or they'll have these house parties. They invite strippers and these escorts. They've been doing this stuff here. Okay. Logo, Powell, and Shields were also dismissed for violating police procedure and lying during the investigation, along with McGowan, who had been witnessing choking an HR employee. Damn. Now he's over there choking people out. He should have been fired. Mm-hmm. Holiday and Malaolaka, Alico, and Pat, I hope I'm saying this man's name right, Malaolaka, Olaco, the patrol officer Gavin Scarborough was suspended in connection with the probe, officials said. HR Director Andrew Patton, who authored the report and conducted the investigation, sanctioned the 8 officers for various penalties: sexual activity while on duty, sexual harassment, and conduct unbecoming of an officer, and lying during the course of the investigation. When they investigate black cops, damn, they got these policies that you've never seen before, heard before. When they get ready to fire a black cop, it was like, damn, they got a lot of stuff you ain't never heard before when a black cop gets fired. It was further revealed that Hall and many of the male officers had shared lewd text messages and pornographic images of themselves. Pornography, offensive pictures in the workplace are a form of sexual harassment. These items are offensive, inappropriate, and can lead to a hostile work environment for other employees, the report said. This story was originally published by the New York Post and was reproduced with permission. End quote. Yeah. Down there in Laverne, what's that, Laverne? Bam. What's that, North Carolina? I think that happened. Laverne, North Carolina, I think this is where it is. Damn. Y'all down there getting busy down there with only one woman. All of them having sex with just one chick. We already know, like I said earlier, how she got approved to be in that police force. Okay? Because when you take a look at the other roster, I think she's the only best that they can do in the police force. All the other ones look all old and look like somebody's grandma. So I'm like, oh my God, man. We're basically, man, oh my God, man. Well, let's go ahead and do a music break. We're minding our own black business on the Lawyers and Podcast, right? Let's see, hold on. I got some more stuff for you. Thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. Oh. All right, thumbs up. Now let's talk about some things here. Okay. Now, as you know, rent and mortgages are going up. I mean, like, they're literally going up. It's like, damn. In fact, I'm going to do a whole video essay on this, of the changing of the housing market in the United States and stuff. But it was a report that came out that suggests that they're no longer taking, housing vouchers. Housing vouchers are no longer being taken by landlords. That is going to be very, very, very damaging, and it's going to really, really cause the so-called independent woman, if they're not taking housing vouchers no more, and they're not taking Section 8, oh man, y'all gonna be in trouble, man. But yeah, we're gonna have a full report on that, man, because man, it's gonna be a lot of with children specifically, that if they basically are not taking these housing vouchers, a Section 8. Now they were saying because the reason why they're not taking these housing vouchers no more is because they're not the government who is providing the housing vouchers for them to these single moms or whatever and the kids to stay in these homes. When they get their houses or retrieve their houses and want to rent it again, they're saying that the repairs are costing more than what they're being paid at these apartments, or if they instead renting out a house with these single mom with these kids. So now the landlords are saying, nigga, not only we're not going to take your kids and give them give you housing voucher, the father's out of the house, in order for a woman to get any kind of something from the government. Of course, the man can't be there. So the black man, you got Tyrone in the house? You boot that nigga out of there so I can give you these housing vouchers. It used to be that. But now they said, no, we want the father back in the home so we can preserve our house. It used to be when a white man say, hey, I'm going to give you some vouchers. Yeah, you got kids. Yeah, you should be under the roof. It went from that, and now them booting your ass out of there talking about we're not taking no more Section 8. And what we're not going to do is we're not going to sit here because you have these old baby kids and they're walking around here tearing up our ice box, our refrigerator. They're beating and punching in the walls, and we just can't pay for all that no more. So now they're like, there's a long waiting list for y'all to get these vouchers now, these Section 8 vouchers where you can basically get the government to pay your rent or whatever. Man, landlords are telling you no. So there's a changing now in the United States now. Oh man, it's going to be horrific. You got rent going up so much in the United States, man. It's going up. It's incredibly going up where you're not going to be able to stay in a home by yourself. It's getting very horrific out here. And then, Jim Crow Joe Biden, he's bringing these illegal immigrants. He flooded the gate with them. And then you're going to see that now these so-called traditional families, it's not going to be no such thing as a traditional family no more, because you're going to bring all of these other people in here. And hell, it's going to be like 5 illegal immigrants sleeping in one home. Remember I did that story, I don't know, like too long ago. I don't know if y'all saw it. I did a story on they had all of these illegal immigrants inside a house. Man, it was like 30 of them. Almost 30, I think almost 40, 35, 40, somewhere around there. And they were malnutrition, didn't have no water, and they brought them in by, I want to say a trailer, because I think some of them had died. I don't know if it was like like one of them trailer type things, but they brought them into some type of cargo van or whatever. But the long story short is that they malnourished, they didn't have no water, so they died, being smothering in. Then some of them were at this home. I forget where the state was. I forget it, man. If you know what I'm talking about in the comments, tell me. But they were basically inside this home, and they eventually died because they didn't have the water and no food. I was like, whoa. I said, man, they are doing anything to get these illegal immigrants. First thing I have to ask for you good white folks, if you think these illegal immigrants can work better than us, black people, black folks who build a country, let me ask you a question to you white folks who keep on saying that we don't deserve reparation. If you think that the illegal immigrants or the Hispanics or Latinos can work better than black people or work better than black folks, if you think they were a better option, then why didn't you not choose them to build your country instead of the free slaves, the free black, or not the, well, yeah, the free slaves or slaves in general. Why did they not build America? You see, that's what these white folks are not going to answer. They'll get on here, they'll talk. I remember when we had our phone system, I had a white dude call me up, a white supremacist. He said, nigger. He said, don't blame the white man for, you all not being knowing how to do anything. Nigger, don't blame the white man. I said, dude, y'all know y'all have a whole system that stays in black people's way. Like we had 60 towns in each state, 60 communities with black people black people progressing and black people have prosperity in 60 communities throughout the United States, where we were actually doing very, very, very well under segregation. Under segregation, we were all well. And at that time, we only had, I think, possibly about 25 million black people at that time. You see what I'm saying? And one of the biggest things that we did, of course, as I not trying to get off subject, but Dr. King's birthday just passed. What he had done when he had lined Negroes up, down there in Montgomery, Alabama, and defeated and tore down the Montgomery bus system. You see, those were things that we did as black people and defeated this bus system. We were strategic before all these other people came and started to then pile up on us. So you got white folks and you got Joe Biden, all these people, they're just bringing all these people up here, piling them on top of black people. That's all they're doing. Okay. And then they're latching off to what black folks are doing. And so that's the reason why we have to basically separate ourselves with them. Nobody else have experienced more harm than us. So we have to understand when these white supremacists talk that lie, talking about, well, you niggers, you just don't work a lot. You just don't work good. And you niggers are always complaining and stuff. And we gave you niggers jobs. But wait a minute. That was the only thing that white folks have given you is jobs, and jobs are not resources. We keep trying to tell black folks, jobs are not resources. So when Jesse Jackson and Louis Farrakhan and Al Sharpton and them were all out there during the Civil Rights Movement, they were talking about jobs and justice. But the problem with that, just like Reconstruction, we basically still were even during Reconstruction, of course, we had our own business, but then the Civil Rights Movement came, and then all of a sudden now you're trying to put jobs in our way. We don't want your jobs, because as you know, we're going to get discriminated against. We're going to basically, have to deal with all kinds of racism on your jobs. And then when you go try to tell the white man who run your court system, he gonna say, oh, nigger, you wasn't being, racism doesn't exist in these jobs. Nigger, you had a personality conflict with a supervisor. Nigger, go back to work, you see. And so we basically do not need to be working for white people no more. And so what they're trying to do is they're trying to bring all of these people and then to say, well, these folks work better than y'all, okay? Like I said earlier, if they work better than us, then why did you not get them to, build your country? Well, I'll answer that question is because the Native Americans, when the white man first put them on the in the fields to work, they were just falling out because the sun. They forgot that black man had that melanin in his body, you see, and the sun, when he goes up there, you can't touch that melanin. So that's the reason why a black person can stay out in the sun for a very long time because of the melanin, which is the real reason as to why white people don't like us, okay? We were given melanin, okay? The white supremacists will admit it. Don't take my word for it. You just ask the white supremacists, what is the original reason as to why you hate black folks? And they'll tell you, it's because God gave y'all melanin, and He did not give us, or the power of God did not give us, I should say, because I don't look at God as as a person. Okay. Now, and this stuff happened all the way in a sense. So I'm trying to just tell y'all, really, really focus on what they're trying to do to Black community. They're trying to displace us. They're trying to kick us out of certain areas. They're trying to bring this cop city. I'm going to be talking about that. This guy was shot and killed here in Georgia. We're going to be talking about that on another live video, or probably a video essay. But we're back here. Like I said, I'm back from suspension. From ScrewTube. They put me on a double shallow ban. They done took all my subscribers away from me. They said, "Nigga, we're gonna take your views." Nigga, they done said you have to update your camera thing. They said, "Nigga, not only you have to do that, we're gonna suspend you for another month." So I was like, "Damn!" I said, "Damn, boy, they've been suspending me left and right here on ScrewTube." But thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. You've been listening to the Lawyers and Podcast Show. Keep it here. We're going to be back on our live upload here in just a moment. You're listening to the Lawyers and Podcast Show.